She's a joke, she's drinking wine.
What is she doing?
Hey,
Find Craig's email.
she's smiling and happy. I'll take that as a.
You ready?
I don't have my iPad here, do I?
No.
No.
Finding
no,
Craig's.
you got-
Is this listed?
Let me know when. Are you started recording? Yeah, hold on one second. No, he hasn't.
Just pause it.
I have the photo attached and I have that article attached. Oh,
Yep.
I gotta post my
Okay.
page.
So I'll just kind of summarize over here first, and then make and Kermit.
You want to summarize it on tape?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Wait, hang on 1 second.
Then I don't have to write them an email.
Fran, are you in all this?
Okay, sense.
This would not be set until it becomes an issue.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Grandma looks stressed out about this.
No, she doesn't. She's been talking about
No,
wine
she
for
just
the
keep
last
asking
half hour. She just wants her wine.
Okay.
There should
ready?
not be family discourse.
You tell us when you're ready, Eric.
He's ready.
Yep,
Did you
it's
guys get my
recording.
email?
Okay. The purpose
The only thing
of
is
this
gotta make me
meeting.
look 40 years younger. That's my only request.
The purpose
That's
of this
done.
meeting is because there's disagreement in the family with what is in Mom and Robin's best interest. And just quick summary of events, when Robin fell between Christmas and New Year's, he was at Madison County Hospital. They were gonna let him go home with standby assist, and I requested talking to the physical therapy and said, "You're crazy, he's not a standby, and we want him reevaluated." At which time they said, "You're right, he needs more help than just standby, he's at least a one-person assist." And then we talked about sending him somewhere for help. It was agreed at that time. Craig had thought that it was best for both of you to move at that time. And so we looked at a place for both you and Robin, and after we went to the first place, we realized that that is not a place we wanted you, because it was very sad and depressing, and it was secluded and isolated, and nobody wanted that. So we decided that it would be best maybe just to let Robin go to the Madison house, because you didn't need the full-time care, and let Robin be helped there, and you would be 5 minutes away. So over the course of the next few weeks, you wanted to be with Robin. You also didn't feel he was getting the best care that he could, and that they were taking care of him like you would want him taken care of. And you started spending a lot more time there so that you could help Robin and be there with him. And because you didn't like being alone at night, and you missed him. So
Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. But I hate to criticize their care though, because they
You're not
try.
criticizing.
No, I
I'm not
know.
criticizing.
Do you feel like they're doing everything they say they're gonna do though? Like,
I think for the staff they have, I think sometimes they're understaffed.
right. So, because they're
I
supposed
think the
to,
people working there do care and do try.
right,
Yes.
I'm not critical of any of the people.
right. And
se.
neither am I, and neither is anybody else. But what they were saying at the facility was that they take and walk him to the bathroom every 2 hours, that he's being walked to meals and back. And we've all seen that that's not true. And we've all seen that they've taken him to the bathroom and left him there, and then he's gotten up and walked back by himself. We've seen that they take him to a lot of meals in the wheelchair. And so,
And if they aren't properly staffed, you know,
you
there
can't,
may be a place that could be properly staffed that could take better care than not.
and maybe he needs more than what, if they're assisted living, and I've never really gotten real clear answers on
There's-
what all they're supposed to do, but maybe they just aren't capable of
Or an
giving him.
ECF, Extended Care Facility. And then there's a SNF, which is Skilled Nursing Facility, where you can get more therapy. But Madison House is an ECF.
So anyway, you kept saying that you wanted to bring him home, that was your first wish.
goal.
And so I had asked you if you wanted to go back to your doctor, to Dr. Cassidy, both you and Robin, and let him evaluate to see if that was within reason. And we tried to locate Dr. Cassidy. He's not at Riverside Family Practice, where you and Robin have gone for decades. But they did say that they would be glad to set you up with one of the new doctors who had all your records. And you said that that's what you would like to do. So we arranged an appointment for you and Robin to go together. And one of the staff members, the director of nursing, I believe, went as well, and Nancy and I. And what Dr. Hussein said was that he thought you definitely was within reason that you, if you wanted to be home, that your house should be evaluated, and you and Robin should be evaluated with PT, well, not you, but Robin for PT/OT, and safety of the house, and if it was feasible that he could go home. But it would probably be with 24/7 care. And so we were all in agreement that home health should come out and evaluate. When you and I went back to the facility that afternoon, Robin was working with the physical therapist. And we asked the physical therapist for some professional advice. You had wanted to increase Robin's therapy, and you asked if you could pay him for an extra session or whatever it would take for him to help Robin. At which point he said, let's go back in the room and discuss it, and he walked back with Robin. He said to us that he said that he could definitely do another session if the doctor ordered it, but that he wasn't sure that it would be
Worthwhile or beneficial because Robin wasn't being.
Megan, since I was there, let
Yeah.
me finish. What he said was that he had given them instructions, that he worked with Robin twice a week. He had given them instructions that staff was to walk with him in his walker to and from each meal. And he said that he was absolutely aware that they were not following.
Well,
Yes.
They didn't always, they would come and take him in the wheelchair because it's easier and quicker for them, rather than walk him every time to the,
Right.
to the meal.
And that's
They were
what
not following those instructions.
and that's what the therapist said, that he had witnessed as well. And we had both said that we'd witnessed that as well too.
You don't have to raise your hand.
She's talking.
Repeat after that.
Joe, can I talk?
I went 12 years to Catholic school. We had to raise our hand.
Still doing.
So we, at that point, we concurred with the therapist that, we were saying the same thing. And he said that was even just on one staff, so he wasn't sure what was happening in the other shifts, the other 2 8-hour shifts. So he said just during that 8-hour daytime shift, he knew that things weren't being done the way they were supposed to. You and I had been in there just, a couple weeks before that, where they had left Robin in the bathroom and he got up and walked on his own. So, every time someone's there, it seems like, it just happens to be a bad time for them, and they're not doing it the way they're supposed to. And that was the concern. So we asked the therapist, what do you suggest? And he said, I don't want to get in the middle of family disputes. I see this all the time. He said, but we had a situation in our home very similar. And he said, if this was my family member, I would immediately get him in for intense physical therapy twice a day, so that he has therapy twice a day. Take him to a facility where he can have around the clock, they follow through of what the therapist tells them. And he said, then evaluate after 30 days. He said, that's all you need.
I've worked at a skilled nursing facility and I've worked at an ECF, and the difference of care is completely different.
Well,
The amount
I'm
of
all for moving.
therapeutic intervention that you get is completely
I'm
different.
all for moving him.
And that's what you said at the time, that if there was, and he said if there was any hope that he was going to go home, he would have to have that therapy. He also said that Robin's knees were so full of arthritis that he would never be able to walk on him on his own again, his legs. And he said that the danger was that walking on his legs, his knees could give out at any time and all his body weight would fall down on him. So he said that that's why he needs the 24/7 care, just so somebody could walk with him and be there to catch him and support him would he fall. But he said him sitting in that wheelchair and in his blue recliner day after day not doing anything is the worst thing he could be doing. And he said that it was a very fine line between how much therapy he should have, but he said that if he continued like he was going to lose function, but that you couldn't overdo it because then again, he said his knees just can't tolerate it. So he said that you really need to find what is the right amount of walking he should be doing, and it had to be with assistance.
There's
So
also a lot of upper body strengthening they could do at an ECF or
Right.
a skilled nursing facility, SNF.
and he said Robin's strength above the knees was phenomenal. So he could even be using his upper body a lot more than he is now, and with proper physical therapy,
And occupational therapy.
he could be.
Which he's not getting.
No,
Not getting any
he's not
no,
occupational.
he's getting
He could
2
be.
sessions a week of physical therapy, period. And the therapist said it's not doing him any good if they're not following through. at that point, you asked me to call the doctor and to see, you know, if we could get him into a skilled facility where he could get therapy like he should be getting. Try it for 30 days and then reevaluate. So at that point, I said I would call, and we would, home health would be involved too, like Dr. Hussein had said, and that they would probably, you know, they would make the determination whether he, you know, was feasible or not to bring him home. And I told you I would call Jan and let her know. So we were all, you and I felt very good about this. We asked Robin if he would be interested in working with more physical therapy, and he said absolutely. And the therapist said that he worked very hard, never told him no, was very willing. So he thought it was, you know, definitely worth looking into, and he said he would get him out of there today, not 2 weeks, is what the therapist said. So I, on my way home, called Jan thinking I was giving her good news. And she got very belligerent with me and told me that she really didn't care and that I was really to mind my own business, that she wanted daddy there and that's where daddy wanted, and daddy, daddy, daddy. At which point I got very upset and said, Jan, there's my mom to consider too. I said, you know, she's his wife and she wants to see if he can get better with therapy. And she said, I talked to my dad and he said at the end of his life he wanted to be at Madison House and he's there and I'm not moving him. And so I said, she goes, I'm in Florida and I can't be there, the decision's made and that's final. And I said, you're not the only one, you know, to consider. There's mom and there's us kids who are there trying to help. She hung up on me and then she followed up with an email, which Megan's now going to read. And I want to preface that my response to her, I meant it from the heart, but I had worked 13 hours and I had 2 glasses of wine, so it's not well written. But I mean every word of it.
Did I heard this?
No, you haven't heard mine. You've heard, I don't know what you've heard, because you said somebody emailed you something, so that's why Megan's gonna read it, and we can all
Dear
interject.
Joan, I would first like to apologize for my outburst yesterday afternoon. I was, in fact, in the process of writing to you when you called. I do not think well on my feet, nor do I deal well with confrontation.
So
It is definitely a weakness
She
of mine.
considered my phone call, which I was trying to share good news, as confrontation, even though she was the one that got belligerent and hung up.
I am much better communicating my thoughts and writing. While I apologize for getting upset and hanging up on you, I am not changing my stance on my dad. Nothing about you, on her dad. The day we had considered moving dad from the hospital, I gave you and the others free rein to locate a place of your choosing. You already seemed well into the process when I had arrived and had selected several places to check out. After only checking out one place, you came back with the Madison House because they had a bed available. While I understand that it was only to be a temporary placement until other decisions could be made, I believe the Madison House has proved to be a very accommodating and acceptable place. I know that London in general and Madison House.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Has she been here at all since?
She helped
you've
move
been
him in. She helped move him
She
in.
helped move him into the Madison.
Right.
Yeah,
How
but
long
she has
he
not been here
How long
since.
has he been there?
A month and a half.
And she hasn't been back since.
No, she's coming back.
That's my question.
In particular,
you downstairs.
the Madison House in particular have never been agreeable to you.
Isn't it, get Dustin?
To mom. She's saying the Madison House has never been agreeable to mom.
Because I guess we've obviously had a conversation about this in the past. She assumes a lot of,
a lot of
rather than asking me things, she tells me what
she said,
I
what
think.
she said,
Yeah.
and what she thinks. I believe that you and I had discussed several years ago when you implied that my dad had strong-armed your mother into moving there, into London.
Jan and I had a conversation in which we were talking about, and I don't even know why, maybe it was one of the first times that Robin had broken his hip and they were talking about moving you both into a facility. And I had said that you would need to be closer to Columbus so we could help. And she said, they want Madison House. And I said, well, you know, let's ask them because I don't think you know that they want Madison House.
We never even knew, weren't even talking about it
know,
at that
Mom.
point.
I know.
But, I mean, years ago, we didn't.
This is what she's wanted all along. But anyway, she made a comment about, you know, you guys wanted to be in London, and I said, well, I don't know that that's necessarily true. I said, Mom told me that the reason that they moved to London was because it was important to your dad, and since it was his money and he had sold his property, it was his decision. I said, that doesn't mean that that's where Mom wanted to be. It means that she did what Robin wanted because she felt that that was the thing to do. That's all I said. I never said anything
You were
about
stronger.
Yeah.
As I told you then and will tell you now, it would not have been my choice, but it was theirs, and I believe that they have enjoyed their years living there. While I was there in December, January, your mother told me then that she wanted to move into the Madison House.
I don't remember if I did. If he was there, I might have said that I wanted to move there with
He
him.
was
But
there.
I mean,
That's
I
perfectly fine.
can't
that's
say
years
yes or
ago.
no.
That
but I might have
situation's
said that.
changed.
Yeah. Her words were that she just wanted to be with her husband. Her attachment to him was to him, not to the house. We had some very intimate conversations when we shared things about my dad and their life together and how happy they have been, to which I concurred. I am very grateful for the happiness that Carol has afforded my dad these past 28 years. Her only preference to moving to Madison House would have been to be able to bring Dad home. In all her conversations with me since, she has never voiced a desire to move to another facility.
Have you had any conversations with her that you recall?
I do not recall talking
Since she
about.
left? I mean, have you called her on the phone?
I
or-
do not. If Fred, my memory's not great.
No, I
but
understand.
I do not remember that I've called and talked about moving him or staying there or anything. I don't remember. I've talked to her, but I don't remember getting any kind of serious discussion about.
And is she, as far as what she's saying, do you agree? I mean,
Say it again.
It says, we have had some intimate conversations. You and Jan have had intimate conversations.
I can't.
You probably had some
Where
talks.
she
I
with-
shared
talked with her
things.
where things were going all right. I wasn't saying he wasn't falling out of bed, or I wasn't, I haven't had any complaints, but I haven't had it pray. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean,
give the
I think it's
people
even
their
before
credit.
he went to Madison House.
Just keep
Intimate
reading- just keep
conversations
reading it for her.
that
Just keep reading it.
their life together and how happy they've been, to which I concur. I'm very grateful for the happiness that Carol has afforded my dad these past 28 years. Her only preference to moving him to Madison House would have been to be able to bring Dad home. And all her conversations with me
that's
since,
true. That's the one thing she said that's true. That was your
I'd
goal
rather
when
bring
you
him
sent him
home.
there, was that you would bring him home, and that's why you wanted him to
It
be
was
there.
close. It was.
she has never voiced a desire to move to another facility. In fact, it's my understanding that when you did take her to visit another place, she clearly stated that she did not want to be any place other than Madison House because she's familiar with
And
it.
I, in fact, was there, and that is absolutely not the
That's
case.
not-
I was
The only thing I
there.
said, I didn't want to be behind locked doors.
You
When I
did, you
first
liked
saw
the
it,
place. You liked that they had veteran assistance. You liked that they had
Yeah.
things for you to do. You liked everything
Yeah.
about it. That was the only thing
But
was
I-
locked door. That was absolutely not the case. I was there.
Yeah, I didn't like, if we were gonna be behind those locked doors, I would not.
But you liked the facility.
Well, yeah, I had, no,
You
it's a
liked
brand
the,
new, well,
yeah, it was a nice facility.
they may have bugs to work out, it's a new facility, but no, I have not,
Your only concern was being locked up. It
Yeah.
was not the
You don't need
facility.
bed bugs, do you?
As I
oh, don't sleep tonight, I'm gonna call you in the middle of the night.
As I've observed, and I know you have as well, any change, no matter how slight, is often very upsetting to Grandma.
Well, I don't think I've been that hard to
No.
change.
No.
I mean,
Why would you want to
Where
push-
has she seen me
Well,
go through
change is
What has
hard.
she changed? Yeah, but what change has she seen me go through that I didn't handle?
That,
Right.
Yeah,
exactly.
you handled a lot.
I moved from the farm to there, I don't think I had any trouble.
No, you've
Was
done
getting
beautifully.
Too much for him to
She's,
do.
again, Mom, this is my whole concern. They are acting like you have, that you're a childlike and that you don't know your own mind and you don't know what you want. And for her to say that you don't handle change well, she told me her whole objection was
Hell,
her
shit,
dad doesn't.
I went through a hell of a lot of tragedy and she didn't. Don't have her or anybody else tell me I can't handle change.
I know, you
We
can't.
know, Grandma. That's
You
why.
do very
You're
well.
doing fine.
Okay.
That's why we're here, Mom, because we don't want Jan, who
It's not even state.
speaking for you on your behalf,
No.
because she does not know you.
As far as PT for my dad is concerned, I do not believe that any slight amount of improvement in mobility that might possibly be gained by moving him to a skill facility would outweigh the disruption of relocating him. Not only would it be disrupting to him, but to your mother as well.
I don't agree with that. I think it should be given a chance.
She most certainly could not accompany him, which would put more strain on the family to facilitate her transportation, and she could still not spend the amount of time with him that she's been doing the past few weeks, not to mention nights.
How does she know how much transportation? I thought I got a big family.
Yeah.
We don't
If
mind.
she doesn't know what we're willing to do. Again, she's in Florida and hasn't talked to any of us.
She doesn't have to worry about that. We do not care. We will be more than happy to help
I
transport
know.
you.
My father is 90 years old and his knees are gone. It is a shame that he did not have replacements 10 years ago when he could have enjoyed the benefits of this in his latter years. However, I do not believe any amount of therapy is going to improve the situation at this time, which cracks me up because I'm an occupational therapist and have been for 15 years, and she's telling what the PT knows. nose right
Well,
there,
and the,
which is
and the PT
arrogant.
is the one that said that he absolutely should be evaluated because he is capable of more, and he's progressed so much so from when
And
he
he's
got
willing.
there. Yeah, and he's willing. Exactly.
And
The
if he
PT
doesn't
is
want
the
to
one
be
that
stuck
said.
in a chair for the rest of his life, then he has the right to
The
not try
PT
to
is
do
the one that said, get him out and get him out now. Don't
She's
wait 2
basically-
weeks.
I mean,
Because he was using his walker long before.
Yes.
Right.
He'd get up and get his little.
And completely,
drinks
totally independent.
himself and go back
Totally
to-
independent.
After all, he was doing as much walking as he chose in the condo, but it was evident that it was becoming more difficult for him and eventually resulted in several falls. Julia has assured me that Daddy is being walked into the dining hall, whoever
Which
the
is a
heck
lie. And
Julia is.
Julia,
a lie.
Yeah.
When possible, but often he doesn't have it in him to do
They
that,
don't
which is a
even-
lie too, because I've never asked Robin to do something that he refuses to do.
And
That's
just today when we were
that's
there,
bullshit.
he was sitting alone at a table. All the other tables had people there, and he was sitting alone in a corner.
Was he in his wheelchair or had he been walked there?
I think today he had
think he'd
been
been
walked. He had his
Good.
walker, and that's the
Okay,
very
good.
first time that I had seen the walker. Every other time that I've been there, it was the wheelchair.
You mentioned that we should be considering what our parents want. And all my conversations with your mother, her only vacillation comes after spending time with you. As I mentioned above, she has never once entertained any other option than Madison House.
I've never talked to her about any other option.
If she could not bring Dad home, that option to me has been ruled out by everyone. At best, it would be short term, and the whole process would have
Well,
to
if
be
she hasn't asked me
revisited.
and she hasn't asked Mom, how could she say that that's been rolled out by
Well,
everyone?
here you find out. It is my understanding that Craig and Nancy and your mom are all in agreement with your mom moving into Madison House. How this makes me unwilling to do what your parents want is perplexing to say the least.
Well, I don't think I discussed it with any of you whether to move into Madison House. I mean, that was kind of obvious. We were in Madison County Hospital, right? Well, I
Well,
was.
They're saying now. that
They're
you
saying
just-
now.
They're saying now that that's all you want is to move into my house. You don't want to look at any options. You want to move into Madison House. Is that true?
If that's my only option, yes, I would.
If that's your only option, but if you have
I'm
other
willing to look at
options?
other- Yes, I'm willing to
Okay.
look at other
And
options.
Grandma, last week when we were talking, you told me that you were only planning on being there short term.
Well, yeah, I don't want to be there forever myself. I mean, if I have to be.
So
It's
you're-
not a
but
bad
you
place.
don't have to
I'm
be.
not, I'm not critical.
Right.
I'm not saying that.
We understand that.
I'm not
And you
critical.
want your position in moving into Madison House is because you want to be with Robin
Yeah.
and you want to be close and you don't want to sell your house and you don't want to give up your car.
Not yet, no.
Right. So your interest in moving to Madison House is to stay close to home, maintain your house, maintain your
Yes.
car, in the hopes that you'll go
Yeah,
back there.
And to be able to come and go from Madison House as you
yeah,
please?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I'm just clarifying.
Plan to be a prisoner there. If I have a car, I can go when I want. I don't have to sign in and out.
No, but Craig and Nancy have already said that you're not allowed to have your car there, which isn't
They
their.
have no right to tell me I can't have my car there, Joe. They're not my.
I know.
They don't have my power of attorney or anything.
Yes,
Yes, Craig does.
Craig is your
Craig and
power.
Jan are your. Craig and Jan do.
Well, I don't want you to have my power of attorney. That must have been done right after we were married because there was
Yeah, and
family.
you've since signed other documentation that you want me to be your health care,
Yes.
yeah, and living will power of attorney. So we're in the process of getting that changed. You've signed it and written it, and you have had it notarized, but we have to have an attorney actually change it.
Well, that's fine, but that was probably when we did that. It was
Was
one of
in
each
the year
family.
2000.
It was a new marriage and.
Right.
2000?
It was in 2000. It was 14 years ago.
The one time I tried to discuss looking at assisted living facilities with Dad, he made it clear that Madison House is where they would go.
Yeah, I
if
don't-
need me.
But I can't say they didn't discuss that. They didn't discuss that with me present.
Okay.
I never was in a three-way conversation with them
About where you were
we would
going.
go.
Okay.
And it should be
Again,
your
and
I
decision
don't
too.
think he and I
Again, your mother has never voiced objection to that.
I didn't know.
She did.
And I didn't know they discussed
Yeah.
it.
On the contrary,
did. If
she
they
has indicated that this is exactly where she wants to go. So your accusation that my dad was not the only one to consider in this equation is perplexing as well,
No,
especially that
that's-
accusing me
that's
of
not-
Let
not
Grandma
wanting.
That's not true. I never discussed with Jim. This all happened so quick. From Madison, he went to Madison County Hospital. They said he needs to go to assisted living. They recommended Madison, and that's where we went.
And you were under stress. You didn't have time to
But
logically
I
sit down
I
and
didn't
figure
say,
things out.
well, no, I want to check in Columbus. I just said, okay.
Sure.
It was a that was the next step.
Right.
You
to come
said
home.
temporary.
Yeah, it was the next step. Supposedly before he came home.
Right.
Yeah.
So your accusation that my dad was not the only one to consider in this equation is perplexing, as well as especially after accusing me of not wanting to do what is best for my dad by offering him more therapy. The only objection...
Which I absolutely, wholeheartedly mean. If she doesn't care that her dad's getting better, she shouldn't have anything to say with his care. He deserves every opportunity to improve. And for her to say that he doesn't is shameful.
Which she already did in the earlier.
Yeah.
The only objection that I have heard from you is that it is not convenient enough to allow you to drop in on them at random times for your busy schedule. Basically saying that the only reason mom's objecting is because she can't drop in on you when it's convenient for her. I fail to see how this is honoring their wishes in bold and desires. I assure you that if your mother were making any objections or desire to move somewhere else, I would certainly be more willing to entertain a move for my dad.
Okay, Mom, so now you have the opportunity. Read that again, please. Read that again.
She'd be willing to entertain it.
I assure you that if your mother were making any objections or desire to be moved somewhere else, I would certainly be more willing to entertain a move for my dad.
Okay, so Jan's willing to entertain a move for her dad if you say that you would like to have
Have
other
other
options.
therapy.
Yeah, I wanted to have more therapy.
Okay, Jan, there you go.
I wanted to have more therapy.
But
if it's doable, if the doctors and the therapists say it's doable, that's what I want.
But it seems to me that our highest priority should be that they are safe and being well cared for. It is common knowledge that moves of any sort are disrupting to older people. On the contrary, your continued manipulation of your mother,
Quit that.
suggesting alternatives and reasons why she should not do what she clearly indicated she wants to do.
Mom, okay, let's stop right there. Mom, first of all, do you feel like I'm manipulating you in any way?
Brenda, she's manipulating me. I
She's
don't
not
think so.
manipulating you.
No, my advisor says no, she's not manipulating me.
What do you say? Honestly, because this could be very
No,
serious,
no,
Mom. Do you feel like I'm manipulating you in any way?
You know, I'm not the brightest bulb in the light, but I still think.
Yes. And what was the rest of that?
That's
So-
an important statement right there.
So, Megan,
No, seriously.
it is
Yeah.
very important. Megan, say,
Well, and she just scored a 29 on the 30 on a mini mental state exam that I do consistently with elderly patients. And it proves valid for neurologists. It's the baseline entry level.
so we accept and we all feel very strongly that you have 100% capability of making your own decisions at this
Yeah.
time.
And
And
I
then
only got a 25.
what else did she say there? I think there's a little more clarification there.
On the contrary, your continued manipulation of your mother, suggesting alternatives and reasons why she should not do what she has clearly indicated she wants to do, seems very selfish and uncaring, especially in the light of her present confusion. Present state of confusion.
So what Jan's saying is you're presently in a state of confusion and you don't have the
Well, I
ability.
resent that.
And her giving you options is manipulation and confusion.
Yeah, I'm confusing
That
you more
mom's
and
constantly
manipulating you
confusing
by
and
giving you
manipulating her.
options.
What's she doing?
And Grandma, that you have clearly stated that all you want to do
Is
is to
Madison
move to
House.
the Madison House.
I wanted to be at the Madison House because he was at the Madison House.
Right.
Yeah.
So you want to be with Robin.
So
if-
if Robin was in Alaska,
I would go to Alaska.
Right. And you know what,
Thank
Mom? If you were in Alaska, that's where Robin would want to be. So since you're of sound mind right now and your memory is actually better than his and your physical condition is better, it should be where you want in a place that is good for you as well.
And Robin.
And
Both
Robin,
of you,
and
and
Robin
not
would
just
be.
the-
Robin just wants you. He doesn't care where he is. He doesn't even.
No, I
doesn't
have
know-
nothing.
honestly, he doesn't know-
Against the Madison.
I know you're not. We aren't either. We aren't either, except that I don't think that they're doing what they say they're going to do, and we've
Well,
seen that.
And I will say this, Grandma, that Robin doesn't ever seem, when he sees Emery and those kids, that they're laughing and giggling, that is the best and happiest
he
he
likes
is.
to see
And
the
if he
kids.
can see the kids more, and if he can be around people, he's gonna be happier. He's gonna have more of a life than sitting somewhere in a room all day.
And
I
the few recent times I've been there, he hasn't known where he was. So I don't think Madison House.
He says
He's confused. He is confused.
and he says, "Oh, the nurses are coming to put me to bed." He said that multiple times.
He said that to me, and he also a few times thought that he was still at the hospital.
I know that.
And so I just.
But doesn't Jane's confusing you being confused, that's all.
That's why I just don't think that Jan's point of he wants the Madison
I don't
House
think
is really
Jane
that
sees he's
relevant
confused.
because he doesn't
I don't think she
know that
sees
he's
it or has
there.
accepted it yet. He is confused.
Yeah.
But see,
Well, she's saying you're confused.
Well, I had to tell him to get it. Well, I knew where we were today. I was able to tell him where we were.
Well, you told me the day of the week, the month, the year.
I
You
know
told me
your
everything.
memory's not as
So.
good, but that doesn't
Oh,
mean that you're not
my
competent.
memory was never great.
Mom's isn't great.
Beverly was the brain.
Okay. It seems obvious to me that you are unwilling, you meaning
She's
Mom,
talking about me
to
now.
try any ruse.
Oh.
Be it getting a
This is very important. Please
Yeah.
read this again, Mom.
It
And listen.
seems obvious to me that you are willing to try any ruse, meaning that she's trying to screw with the doctor, to be it getting a doctor at Riverside practice, have them evaluated for going home, or
Where you've been going for decades. She's saying I was manipulating you then, and it was a ruse to get my way. That my taking you to your doctor and Robin to his doctor was manipulative and was a ruse. That's what Jan is saying
Because
about.
she picked those doctors so that they would say
She
that.
had nothing to do with those doctors. He was going to those doctors when I married him. I switched to those doctors.
Right. Okay. I think it's very important to state that
Yeah.
clearly that was your choice. You were the one that wanted to see your doctor for evaluation.
This
And
has changed from there, and I'm not happy about it, but that's not my fault or anybody's
Right.
fault. But our records are there, and we still
right.
go
And
there.
it made sense to have him evaluate Robin
Yeah.
and you.
Okay, this is the part that pisses me off more than anything. They have lived a very happy and full life. Unfortunately, that has changed, and we all need to help them make the best of the time that they have left. So basically, she's saying,
Goodbye.
She's sentencing
see-
him to death there. That's exactly
She
what it
sentenced
is.
both of you to death.
Yeah.
That's what she's doing there.
obviously,
And I resent that because I think that you
Waste
are
away
very
and
good.
Obviously, you obviously, Grandma, have a lot of life left in you.
See what you got to look forward to. When I say enjoy your youth, now you see what I mean.
obviously, it is a difficult time for everyone, but I do believe they could have the best possible life at Madison House.
Killing. Yeah.
None of these facilities are perfect, but I have been impressed with the accommodations they have offered us and with the
Yes,
staff
Mom.
I met when I was there.
How long was she there?
She's only there the day that he moved
The day
in.
he
She
moved
hasn't been back since he moved in.
That's what I couldn't remember.
Yeah,
She's
she
only
has not
there-
been back since he's
She's only
moved
been
in.
there one day, and she was.
Well, a day or two, yeah. I
Wow.
think he moved in, yeah, and I think she left the next day.
Okay.
Or maybe even the day, she
Okay,
might have
that's
even left the
what
day
I
that he
didn't
moved
remember.
in.
Last
She has
year-
not seen him since he's been in there.
Joan, it is certainly not my desire to be at odds with you or anyone else, but I do feel that I am considering my dad's best interest at this time, and I certainly do not feel I am doing this to the exclusion of Carol. Moving to Madison House is the only desire she has ever expressed to me,
You never told.
other than going home.
It's
As
not
Dad-
pathetic. It is. It's
As Dad's only remaining child, it is definitely my utmost concern and responsibility to see that he and your mom are receiving the best possible care. I believe that you would receive this at Madison, or that they would receive this at Madison House, and I believe that when your mom moves in and makes the transition, she too will be happy as possible. As possible. Happy as possible. That's lovely. Whatever your objections, I hope you will be able to put them aside to help your mother make this adjustment. Sincerely,
So
Jan.
she's not even giving you the option. She's deciding for Robin and for you what's going to happen. She's not. She's
Had
not.
we even said at that time that I was moving in?
Well,
Had I?
according to Craig and Nancy, I found out that you were supposed to move in there March 1st. I wasn't.
That was just decided like yesterday.
No, I think it was decided because Nancy mentioned it at the doctor's. That's when I found out. At the doctor's office, I found out that they have a
Yeah, but I
move-in
didn't
date.
tell
And,
them at the Madison
and to
House
that
yesterday.
fact right there, Nancy and Craig are making these assumptions and decisions without any communication
With Mom.
with Joan
which is
at
wrong.
all,
They're
which is
leaving her
wrong.
out.
Because
Plain
they
simple.
said-
Because they've done this to her entire
Well, and they
life.
said it's the 2 out of 3. If there's 2 people that want it.
You know, I don't give a shit if 2 out of 3 or 3 out of 3. I'm still kind of.
Exactly.
Yeah, you're totally with them.
Kinda. I didn't say.
Okay, here's Mom. This is, you're gonna laugh. Here's Mom's response after 2 glasses
Well,
of wine.
Was that the
This is mother. Yeah, again.
That was the
Didn't Nancy respond first, or you respond?
No.
No, I responded next.
Okay, Jan, I was very dismayed at your lack of interest in what the physical therapist had to say. I thought you would be encouraged. I thought I was calling you with happy, positive news. I was reading your email with an open mind and heart. Then I reached the part where you accused me of being manipulative, etc. I did not read it anymore. Though you and Nancy didn't discuss our attempted conversation,
Which
you said
Nancy admitted to us that Jan called her right after they got off the phone.
But
Nancy,
and then
you
they
two
lied
said
about
the
it.
exact same thing. How odd. You had no interest in what my mom or your dad might really want. Neither you nor Nancy once would. Wait,
That's
neither
where I
you
messed
or
up.
Nancy
Yeah, that's where I kind of messed up my drunken state.
Scoop.
wants what's best for them. You want what's easiest for you. And you could care less what my mom, Robin's wife, wants. All I can say at this time is you are appalling to me and how you and Nancy pretend to be such loving Christian women, and it is you that God, Mom, and it is you who is the manipulators. All I can say now is fuck you both, you self-righteous bitches. Very sincerely, your daughter, who truly cares about
I know, it's crazy.
Carol and Robin's best interest.
That's what we have the kids leave.
Earmuffs. So.
I'll just open her mouth.
Is that the end?
She wants more.
You want more?
Then Nancy responded. I gotta find it.
How did Nancy?
Jan, CC,
Jan and
Craig.
Nancy.
Jan and Nancy are both
going-
buzzy.
they're going-
Hey, she's writing an apology to me, but all
It
she
says
did.
apology is the
But
fun
all
part.
she did was criticize me the whole time, rip me
And
apart, and
send
send
it
a
to
copy
Nancy
to Craig and
and
Nancy. And Nancy, I don't know, remember the day before that? Nancy had attacked me at the funeral home for Uncle Jim. Even Craig said, did you really have to do that? And she brought me the...
No.
You didn't hear that part? You didn't hear that part?
I
But you
didn't hear. I
No,
understand.
you
I
No,
really
you didn't hear that.
Okay.
But you remember at the doctor's office when she handed me the bag of cookies and said, "This, I'm sorry for the way I talked to you last night." And she said, she goes, "That's an apology, and you wouldn't know what an apology is because you've never given one." And I gave her back her cookies.
That was cute. Oh, I knew you gave her back the cookies, but I didn't know. I didn't
Yeah.
know the
Yeah,
words.
it was an apology, kind of like
Kinda
Jane's,
like
like
that
a
apology.
F you. Here's an apology, but I
Then
really.
Nancy responded, all you care about is getting, I think she's supposed to see mom,
Yeah.
closer to you so it's easier for you to take the time to see her and
She's gonna
Robin.
take those
You
two.
don't listen to what she wants.
Oh, Jack and
Who's that?
Nancy saying, "I don't listen to what you want. I just want it easier on me." Yeah.
you're taking Jack and Evan?
So Grandma, I sent out an email to everybody. I sent it to you. I sent it
Not yet. She
to,
just sent it.
I sent it to Joan, to Craig, to Nancy, to Jan, to Fred, to Megan, to Glenn, to Brett, to Eric, Scott, Kelly, and Martina. Because I feel like of those grandkids, we are the ones that have been invested in you. So I didn't send it to the other ones that live far away. Do you want me to read to you what I wrote?
Yeah.
Okay.
Give mom her wine. Now she can. You're.
Okay. Why
I
did
would
you
like-
send this? Did this just?
I just sent it a little bit ago. Today. I
We're
would like
almost
to
done,
take
Mom.
this opportunity to speak up. As my mother's only child that is still involved with the family, I will be speaking on her behalf. I know she would want that. So I think that I should speak on her behalf and that she should have a say in this too, not just Craig, Nancy, and Joan
And Jan.
and Jan. I will also be speaking as a grandchild because Nancy and I were texting the other day and she said that you and the children will handle it and that's it. Grandkids don't matter. And I disagree with that because we love you and care about you just as much.
Well, that's because she doesn't have that kind of relationship with them.
Well, no, don't hit him. It's true.
Yeah.
No, she doesn't
Because
acknowledge
doesn't-
3 of her
She only has
grandchildren.
one kid that cares, and that's Martina.
Well, we can't say that. I mean, Toby was there this morning.
Yeah,
and-
but that's been involved.
Right.
Tear out my
Right,
basement.
sweetheart.
Straighten it up.
Get on that net out.
No, I think that was actually already there because they're all over the place.
So I said, I have been involved with Grandma and Robin's care, as have many of the grandchildren. I feel that. I feel that anyone that wants to be heard on what they feel is best should have the opportunity to do so. Myself, Megan, Gwen, Brent, Scott, Kelly, and Martina have all helped care for them, and I refuse to dismiss them in this matter. We all love Grandma and Robin and are concerned for them. We will be a part of the discussion. In regards to the events of this week, last week with the therapist. I feel I need to say what happened since I was there and spent the evening with Grandma. That was the night that I cooked you dinner. After visiting the doctor, per Grandma's request, Joan and Grandma ran into Robin's therapist during his bi-weekly session. He said Robin could potentially get stronger with more therapy or at least maintain his current abilities. He told them that if it was his father, he would move him to a facility with frequent therapy for 30 days, then evaluate his abilities. This would give Robin his best shot of improving, as he can only deteriorate with his current care. Joan and Grandma were both very excited about this positive news. Joan wanted to talk to the doctor they saw earlier that day to see if he agreed. If so, Grandma said she wanted Joan to find a place where Robin could get this care, and again, it would only be for 30 days. At no point during any of this did Joan mention moving Robin closer to her. No specific location was ever discussed. This was solely to find a place for Robin to get stronger. I am so disgusted that Joan was attacked by 2 people before even being given the chance to explain what the therapist said to her. Because she was there, Nancy wasn't, and Nancy did not even ask before screaming at Joan on the phone what happened. Because Jan had called her and told her. And that's all she went on. Grandma was so upset by the entire situation, she actually wrote down her wishes, and I have multiple copies for anyone who would like one.
I don't even remember.
That's why I had you write it, because you were telling me you wanted him to do the
That's
therapy.
fine, that's fine.
So I took a
wanted to
picture
do
of it
therapy.
and I sent it to
Yes.
everybody. Because you wrote that you don't care what people think, you just
I don't
want to
Like,
do
she
what the
could read
doctor
what she
said.
wrote and see if she has any
Remember?
disagreement with that. Might be,
I'll pull it back up.
yeah.
But you were just saying that you wanted to do whatever the doctor said was best.
That's it. Sorry.
Is that still true?
Yeah, that's so true.
I've also attached a picture. She wants Robin to be in the place where he will receive the best care. True?
True.
She told me that she wants to try the therapy if that is what is recommended by the medical professionals involved with Robin.
True.
This is all that matters in this regard.
Yeah, no, I think you have to give it the best shot.
Obviously, I mean, why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
I do feel as a family we need to consider more long-term and permanent solutions. So after he's reevaluated, we will have to, at that point, think more long-term. I don't think there is anyone that disagrees that Grandma and Robin need to be together. Everybody knows you should be together. I understand that Grandma is not ready to deal with selling the condo or giving up her car.
No, I'm not giving up my car. I'm giving up the condo, but not my car.
If Grandma wants to move in there temporarily, then I understand. However, it was manipulative to not even discuss this with Joan until after the decision had been made. That is what has been manipulated. Because they had a date for you to move into the Madison house and everything, and Joan didn't even know.
Who had it?
Craig and Nancy.
They said you're moving in March 1st.
Well, I think I had asked no, that might be my fault. I had asked at the Madison house, the sooner I can move in was March 1st.
Yeah,
That'd be the sooner the room would be available.
It's just that Craig and Nancy helped you with it, and they didn't even tell Joan that it was happening.
And that's fine if that's where you want to move in, Mom. If you decide you don't want to try and get more care for Robin, but or if they say no, there's no more we can do for him.
Well, no, let's back up. I'm all for moving in there. As far as anything about the facility, I'm satisfied. But I would like very much if we could get extra therapy, even if I have to pay for it out of my children's future inheritance.
But what the
If it's
physical
good for him.
therapist had said was that you're not going to get it there. That's where you would have to move into another facility for him to get more therapy. It has to be at a facility where he's going to get therapy a couple times a week, and that they're going to follow through with what the therapist
I'm
says.
confused. Okay. In other words, we cannot stay at the Madison house and have him have more therapy. Is that what you're telling me?
What he's telling you is they haven't been following through with the therapy. The little bit that he has gotten, he's only getting it twice a week.
That's not their
and they
specialty.
haven't that's not what they're there for.
specialty.
Grandma,
Yeah.
remember earlier when I told you that there's a difference between an extended care facility and
Yeah.
a skilled nursing
Well,
facility?
yeah, I'd rather go to a skilled nursing facility.
Okay.
That's,
I'd rather
And then
go where he's getting
for 30 days,
more
and then they
therapy.
evaluate. Right.
Yes.
And then they'll
it's just
reevaluate.
30 days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then look at your options, all of your options at that point to see what is best for both of you.
And are you fine to be home alone for 30
yes,
days?
yes.
And then we will take you back and forth to Robin's
wherever it
facility.
is.
Or maybe we can find something, a skilled there, closer. So
We don't know.
I mean,
We haven't
we
looked
have to
yet.
look into it. Yeah.
So
if you
this
don't,
isn't a place that you're gonna go live with him.
Okay,
No.
that's fine.
You'd be on your own for 30 more days.
You're on your own for 30 days until the next decision's
No,
made.
No, I would have the visiting and all that.
Exactly, yeah.
And that's what your doctor and Robin's doctor said. We're gonna have the home health people come in and evaluate and see if it's even feasible to bring Robin home after, if they think that he can have PT and OT will work and he has around the clock care. If if you want to be home and he wants to be home and they say it's safe, we can arrange for the round the clock care. We can pay for people and family, you know, you pay Nancy now to help take care of you. You know, give her a job to do. Stay with me 2 nights and help with Robin. I'll stay 1 night a week for sure, and I was thinking maybe if the girls could offer
Alternate.
1 night a month. Yeah, just do 1 night a month. If Craig would do a night, we can maybe narrow it down
We
so
would
you
have
just
10.
have, you can have 3 days that we have to hire people to spend the night.
Yeah, that's
You
fine.
know, I think we can at least talk about it. It's
Yeah,
worth talking
Exactly.
about.
And so the thing is, after the 30 days, that might be a possibility. It might not. We don't know unless we try.
Okay, so the next step really then should be that we're to find a skilled nursing place, move him from the Madison House there.
For 30 days.
Then decide from
Right.
that 30
Right.
days where he goes next.
Right.
Whether
And now
it's back
Jan-
to the Madison House or here.
Right.
Or
And Jan,
here.
Jan,
Or here.
yeah.
Wait a second.
Oh, wait a minute. Did you hear that, Megan? Yeah, he said no.
But your options aren't only Madison House and home. You have ample opportunities of places.
To look it up. You have 30 days then maybe when Robin's there.
You would
As far
still want
as long as I
someone.
have the house split, Madison House has been fine with me.
As long as the house isn't sold, she wants to be in
I mean,
in
I have to
Madison.
be in the facility.
But if you're going to make a
But
permanent
30
move, if you're going to make a permanent move and have to sell the condo, would you like to look elsewhere other than London?
I would look at other
In
options.
Columbus? Okay.
I would look at
That's
other
that's all I've been
options.
saying.
And then we
That's
have
all
to
we've been
see
saying.
If the condo was, you know, I
Right.
mean, we got
Yeah.
X
Right.
amount of dollars.
If you're not
in the
gonna
bank.
live
Craig's
there-
got my bank book. I hope he does, because I got a note in my book. He better have, because I got a note in my wallet that says Craig has my little poke.
So,
Yeah, they
so
would
Grandma,
say-
the next part of my email is because they're just saying Madison House is your only option, period. And I think if it is a permanent move, there are other better options. So that's what I'm discussing here is if a home health care is not a possibility and you guys need to go somewhere permanently. So
Okay.
as far as long-term solutions, here are my personal feelings. Madison House is not a good option. From what I have seen, they are not doing all they can to care for Robin. Everyone I have spoken with has been incredibly friendly, but I have never, not even once, I actually did today, seen Robin anywhere other than his bed, blue chair, or the wheelchair. Today he did have his walker. I hope they walk him sometimes as they say, but I have not witnessed this. This concerns me. Grandma also does not want to wear a device that sets off an alarm, like an animal, if her memory gets bad.
No, I don't.
Because Grandma, they're saying that if your memory got really bad and they were worried about you leaving, they would put a device on you that sets off an alarm.
Which would be similar to the place where we went and you said I don't want to be locked in. So they're saying Mom doesn't want to go there, she wants to be locked in. But they're already talking about having the same thing happen at the Madison House, just in a different manner.
Except you
So
have to wear like a dog collar.
you'd wear something like Robin does his
Wait,
thing.
they
They'd
wear
put
that.
something on you. So
But
so
it's
it's not
an
fair
alarm
for
on.
them to say
But-
well she doesn't want to be there because she'll be locked in, and
If
yet
I
they're
move in as a
planning.
wife, I don't have to wear that.
If they determine that your memory isn't good or you're a risk to yourself, yes, you do.
Yes.
And
They
that-
can force you to do
If they-
that.
if you
If you
move in
make
there.
that commitment and move into them, yes, they can.
Well, I thought, well, I didn't quite understand.
Not
but
right
I-
away,
No,
eventually.
but who would make, who would make that, I would
Mom,
think that.
you're going to a
I would-
neurologist. You're
I
going
would
to a
think that would be up to
neurologist.
my doctor or
Right.
my family,
Right.
whether I needed
Well, half
to.
your
Well-
family wants you in there.
But right
I know,
now,
But I mean, whether I wear a thing to protect me, I don't think that would be their decision. or
it would be,
maybe not mine.
if that's
It'd be-
their,
But there
That
was
would be my
It would be,
family,
if she
Grandma.
became,
it's the rules. You
They're
have to follow the
liable.
rules of the
They're
facility.
liable for you.
If that's
they're
their
liable for
rule
you.
and you're living
If you-
there.
If you would get out
That's fine.
of the
It's-
facility and get killed, then, you know,
Then we
by a
could come
car,
back and sue
and
them.
then they could come back, we could, as a family, come back and sue them. That's why they gotta do this.
And right
Oh,
now,
exactly.
right
I don't
now,
think they've explained that to me, or if they did, I haven't understood.
well, they haven't explained that to you. What they've said is, Mom doesn't want to be in a locked facility, but they've already discussed she can't have her car there. We're not going to let her. And when her
They
memory
told me-
goes,
They haven't told me I couldn't.
I know that's what they're saying. That's what's being said. That's what I'm saying. You need to be more aware of everything that's going on. That's why I'm glad Jan sent you her email. I would think she'd be ashamed and embarrassed, but she's not because she's not capable. I don't think. Just my personal little gripe.
She-
But yeah, no, she's
very-
assuming.
Religious.
Oh wait,
What was that?
she's very religious.
Okay, so I'm gonna continue. Grandma,
saying it
again,
tongue in
These
cheek.
are my feelings for solutions if you cannot go home. I have also seen much better facilities. I feel they would be better suited at a more lively facility. Larger homes that have assisted and unassisted living tend to have more options and activities and more social people with less severe ailments. So there must be a lot more people
Oh,
for you
yeah,
to socialize
I know.
with, which I think is
Well,
important.
I haven't checked anywhere or priced
I know,
anything.
I know.
mean,
That's what we want.
The whole point, Grandma,
Yeah.
is we
Yeah.
want you to have your options, not
Yeah.
just be forced into
Well,
something.
yeah, I don't want to be
Yeah.
forced.
Grandma does not like being alone. Is that true?
Well, I don't know.
Right now, she was-
It depends on who the company is, right, Grandma?
And this would provide
But I
more
cook with a lot.
this would provide more opportunities for social interactions. She does not even eat without others around her. Which is true. I do.
You're a social eater. You eat like a bird unless somebody's there to
Unless
keep you
you're forcing
comfortable.
you. There's also research that shows people in nursing homes thrive for more family interaction. And I included this article that states if people that live in nursing homes, they are mentally and physically much better off if they have family that can come see
Oh, yeah,
them.
but you guys do come to see us in London. It's not like.
But we'd be there much more frequently if you were within, I mean, you're 2 hours,
I
you
know, but
know.
I can't move just to be near family.
Oh,
either.
absolutely.
I can't be.
And that's your decision.
But if
We
there's
don't
a
wanna make
better
that
facility
decision.
that also offers that, I don't know why that would be a negative.
Huh? Well, it wouldn't be
If
negative.
there's a better facility that could be closer, I see that as
I don't want to go there
positive.
forever. I'm
Exactly.
No,
not saying
that's
that.
what we're-
Well,
That's
Mom,
all.
the chances of, if you move in there,
You're
what do you
not
think the
getting
chances are there,
Huh?
that Nancy and Craig and Jan are gonna say, yeah, let's move them?
You
What do
move
really
in
think
there,
those chances
you're not
are?
getting out of there. I'm telling you, Grandma, I'm being honest. I've seen it happen time and time
Craig
again.
and Nancy and
I've
Jan will
worked-
say, it's too confusing, they'll be upset.
She
and
already
they-
said that. She already said
Yeah,
it's
they've
too
already said
confusing
that.
to move
They-
him.
yeah,
Do you
they're-
think 3 months from now, a year from now, she's gonna be
No.
more likely? No, she's gonna be less likely.
Well, he'd like to go home if he could. I don't know if he's, I don't know
know,
if he's.
but I'm talking-
Couldn't I hire help at home?
Yes, you could. That's what we're trying to
my point.
find out, how, that's what we're trying to find out now, is, you know, what are the options? Can we get Robin help? Can you move home?
Hey, I'm gonna move out there. They're understated. They're nice people.
They're very
They
nice
probably think I'm
people.
bitchy. I'm all like that.
That's because you expect the care that they tell you you're gonna get and you're not
You
getting it.
bitchy? No way.
And because I have
you're
to
innately-
say he's supposed to do
you're
this,
innately
he's supposed to
bitchy.
do-
And Grandma, you shouldn't have to do that. That's why you're
But I'm
paying them
doing that.
to.
I know.
I
But
know,
I'm
and that's
saying
why
all
we're
that.
saying
And
these
I can't blame these poor.
No,
they're
I know.
No.
But Grandma, that's why we're saying that there are other facilities where.
Well, I-
And they're not doing what they say, because they are understaffed. Like you said, it's nothing against the people that are giving you
No,
care.
they're
It's
nice
that they
people.
say they're doing things that they're not doing.
No, they're
And they're upset because when you're in there and when I'm in there, we say, hey, this is supposed to be being done and it's not. And the lady after the physical therapy, she was standing outside the door listening to our conversation, and she came in while we were talking, and I don't remember what her name was, but I confronted her about that, and she said, I know, I've seen it myself. I'm gonna talk to Julie and her staff and find out why he's not being walked every time. She goes, we're gonna get to the bottom of it. So she even acknowledged that they weren't doing it.
No, they won't. I had to go down tonight and make sure they walked him down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you
Well,
shouldn't have to do that.
You shouldn't have to, that's why you're paying for it. So we're just saying that there are other facilities that you could get better care. And we're also saying, if that happens to be closer to us, that would be a good thing. 'Cause
Yeah,
having-
it'd be a good thing.
There's research that shows having family around more
Well, I
often
know.
greatly improves health.
Okay, so we need to wrap this up.
That is important.
Wait, are you done?
No. So I have the article there, and then I said it is mind-boggling and sickening to me that it is not a priority for everyone. Why would anyone ever want to deprive a loved one from family interactions? Jan, I would think you would want this most of all since you are not here to be with Robin. Where they are now makes it impossible for everyone except Nancy to get out there on a regular basis. It takes nearly 2 hours just in driving time to get there and back. If they were closer to Columbus, they would have much more frequent visitors, and it would not necessarily be any further for Nancy. It is not about convenience, it is about it being impossible for us to visit often. We get out there as much as we
Oh, I
can,
know that.
but we
I
would
don't
like to
expect-
a
I
lot
know
more
that.
often. But I mean, that's also not really fair to us, because we do want to be with you.
Well, I know, I understand that you can't come, I understand that.
I know, but we would
I'm
like
not
to.
upset with the amount
I
of
know
time
Robin
people
has
come.
previously mentioned that he would like to be at Madison House. I hate to say it, but he does not know where he is at this point. Several times I have visited, he has thought he was still in the hospital. Just last week, he was confused when Grandma told him a nurse would be coming to put him to bed. He didn't seem to know nurses had been helping him at all. Both were,
Well, he got himself to bed, I think, a couple times.
and he
before
shouldn't
they
be
got
doing
there.
that.
Yeah.
Both
he should
Robin
be,
and
actually.
Grandma will eventually need memory care. It is crucial that when they move somewhere
We
permanently.
don't know that for
No,
sure.
we don't know
Well,
that.
I'll admit, my memory's not great. Brent, I'm
Well,
limiting
but-
to you.
yeah, no, I guess.
Your
a portion
memory
of that
isn't
is
great.
correct, yeah.
Eventually,
At
I'm
some
not
point.
saying
But I love
right
you all the
now.
same.
No.
But I'm saying eventually they probably will. I mean, Robin's probably already
Most people
should.
do.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
And Robin
Okay.
probably should already be getting it. Sorry. It is crucial that when they move somewhere permanently, so this, I'm talking more permanently, that they move to a place they can receive this care. Given that, I think better quality of care, more appropriate care, and being closer to family are undoubtedly more important than just being at Madison House because it's Madison House. I also feel Grandma is not considering herself right now and the care she will need in the future. Right now, she's only focused on getting Robin the care he needs. I agree this is the priority in the immediate future. However, I want to make sure both Grandma and Robin's long-term needs are considered before any permanent moves are made. Grandma has even said to me that Madison House is only temporary. She told me she hoped to only be there 3 to 6 months after moving in. Just today, I asked Grandma, if it turns out Robin cannot go home, is Madison House where you want to be? And you said, I think I would like to look at other places too. Lastly, the terrible treatment of Joan will stop. She is not the manipulative one, so stop saying that. Megan, Gwen, Brent, and myself will not tolerate the shitty treatment towards her any longer. I hope everyone will put their own selfish needs aside and truly consider what is best for Grandma and
That's what she
Robin.
wrote to Jan?
And Craig
everyone.
and Nancy and
Oh,
everyone.
have you had an answer from any of them?
No.
Can't wait to see
Oh,
that,
there's the answer. Boy, Brendan, this like a,
huh? Okay, so Mom, let's just summarize real quick.
My
Okay.
birthday was over.
So yeah, we're just gonna summarize real quick and then we're gonna cake and ice cream. So as far as
Yeah,
your medical healthcare power of attorney, you want me as your primary and Megan as your backup and not Craig and Jan for just your healthcare.
For my healthcare,
For your
that's
healthcare,
right.
just healthcare. And then also, do you or do you not want us to try and see if there's a facility, if Robin's doctors agree and the home health people that he can possibly get better, possibly maybe even talk about going home. Do you want him in a 30-day facility for physical therapy and evaluation?
Yes.
Okay, and are you content to stay home by yourself and be alone? You'll be fine for 30 days and we will help you with transportation to and from the facility. Are you all right with that?
yeah, but I think I can do that.
Well, you might be able to, depends on
We
where
don't
it
know where it
is.
is.
Yeah, we don't know where
But
it is.
again, we don't want to,
Oh,
we don't want.
where it
we-
is.
yeah,
Is that
and
in
we-
Columbus or we don't know?
we don't
We
know.
can
We
pick a
don't
place.
know.
So we'll ask the doctor and the home health agency.
But we gotta be careful so that you know too, and I'm sure John did, you know, we don't want you to go out driving, forget where you are, and get into a situation.
Oh, yeah, I don't want to get lost.
Exactly.
I know I'm a little
Exactly.
And
forgetful.
so you don't know where it is.
So we would prefer to take it as a group to help you, and I'm sure Nancy and everybody else could help you go to that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Take you
to
to
transportation
Or
and
if
stuff.
if it's somewhere away and there's a motel near that I feel
Yeah.
that I can stay there.
And you might even be able to stay in this room like you have been now, you know. so
And I have
we'll
my
get a
Hilton
chair.
gifts discount. I can probably,
Yeah.
if there's a Hilton near
Well,
there,
We
I
can work out those details so
Yeah.
that you're comfortable and you feel safe.
We don't
And
want any of that until you find
and
something.
then after 30 days, when we'll take the advice of the physical therapist,
Okay.
and in the meantime, we can maybe look at other facilities if you think that you're.
I have a question, I'm
Okay.
afraid I'll forget.
That's fine.
If we're gonna move into a 30-day facility,
Mm-hmm.
how much notice, didn't the Madison House say I had to give them so much notice that I
You
was gonna
do
move them?
30 days, but Mom, it'd be worth it to double pay if this is improving his quality of life. You might have to take a loss of that money, but you're talking about now, if you move in, you're paying them $6,000 a month anyway. So if you're paying that much money and it's not doing them any good, if it's doing them harm by not getting physical therapy, it's not money well spent.
Okay.
It'd be better, and I think insurance would probably, they might cover it if the doctor says, no, he needs more care than what he's getting.
If the doctor and the PT both
No.
sign off on the fact that he needs,
No, I hate, who's, somebody's supposed to be checking on what our medical and our coverage really
Craig and
is.
Nancy are doing
Are
that.
they doing it?
I don't know.
Have they done it?
I don't know.
they're not telling her anything, so
I
she
don't
doesn't
know any of that.
Well,
But you can, we'll ask them. We'll ask them. We can write down a list of questions.
Fred, will you ask them?
Where's the paper
I'm
room?
asking Fred to ask
Oh,
them
I
what's
just have
going
a
on.
picture of it.
Does that put you on the spot?
He doesn't care. And this
Just
is,
ask them what's going on with that part of it.
okay, yeah, because we need to make sure we know what's going on financially. But,
I know what's in the savings
Oh,
account,
I cut off the top.
well, this is what, and then.
but we also still both are getting our incomes.
Right, right, you have money, and so it's your money to spend the way you want it. You want this care, that, it's your money to spend the way you want
Yeah,
it.
his income's
And when
still
it's-
coming in and mine.
Yes.
But now when he dies, when I married him, I agreed, he got more retirement if he didn't claim me. And I
Right.
felt like I hadn't been married to him. if he dies, then all in,
That's
it's just mine.
And we'll deal with that when the time comes. But for
But
now,
I could live on mine.
you'll be fine. Don't you worry, you'll be fine.
That
You
is-
always say they're gonna go to the grave in the poorhouse, so they'll just work it out, don't worry.
But that is our,
Yeah.
you know that, that's our way.
Absolutely. And he's also, they filed for assistance through, he gets
He
veterans
should
money.
be veterans. Now,
Yeah.
that's supposed to be
I-
being checked on.
Yeah, I think they are, as far as I know, they're,
Yeah,
Okay.
he's supposed to be getting veterans.
You want Craig to remain your financial power of attorney.
right.
I think so.
And
And
executive.
you want,
Yeah, she should be my medical, but isn't she?
No, I'm
No,
not.
she's
We-
not.
Well, you and I have signed the paperwork and had it notarized, but we have to change the living will, because in the living will, you have Craig and Jan.
That was because that was one from each
Right.
family.
And that was in year 2000, and you want to change it.
14 years ago.
Yes, I would change that.
So we're gonna contact an attorney to make that change, and I will be your primary, and Megan will be backup, like instead of Craig and Jan. And-
we have medical.
Well, yeah,
background.
no, that was 14 years ago and things.
Right.
And she said,
No, it's because you're both
and she
manipulative.
said she just cared about her daddy.
You think I'm a,
She made that statement, so, no, I don't think she.
funny
was-
what you can remember, huh?
Oh, yeah, I could. Don't say something bad about me, because I'm gonna remember it.
And hold it against you.
I won't forget. She getting all that.
Yeah, we got it all.
You know
It's
what?
okay, Mom.
Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn. And they gave me
And
wine.
who said that?
Fred, isn't that right?
They did, they give you one.
Who said, frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn?
Scarlett
Tess.
O'Hara.
Or maintain with therapy. Sorry, your handwriting's terrible.
My,
If the doctor agrees, I want to move Robin to this type of facility. I only care what the doctors think, and I will do whatever is best for Robin. And then you signed it and dated it, and then you also said, "This will be mine and Robin's choice. No one else. We will do what the doctor said."
that's fine, I agree.
Okay. All right, that end.
Oh, God,
Ta-da.
give me another drink.
So they're gonna
Cake,
adopt
ice
the
cream, and
grandkids.
wine. Here we go.
Can you edit some of this?